Today I'm going to be hanging these ribs on the pit barrel cooker. So for this cook, I'm going to be using these baby back ribs. I rinsed and dried these. Now I just need to do some trimming. Let's get to work. First thing right off the bat, you can see how long these ribs are. You got to keep that in mind when hanging something in the pit barrel cooker. These are going to have to be trimmed down. You could also go ahead and cut these in half and make 2 racks if you want. What I'll start with is this end here. You can see how small the bones are here and this big chunk of meat we have. So I like to usually go ahead and just trim all this off. I'll probably cut it to this rib, trim it like that. Let's go to the other side. I'm just going to trim this bone that was cut in half. I think that looks pretty good. So on this back side, we usually have a membrane covering these bones. Where I bought these ribs, they already went and removed the membrane on here. If the membrane was on here, I'd usually keep it on. I like the membrane on there. If you cook it right, you don't even notice it. I like how it keeps in a lot of this fat. Another thing, when you hang these on the pit barrel cooker, they can get tender and actually break off and fall into the fire. So leaving that membrane on is a nice way to keep these together and you have less of a chance of them falling in. But the membrane's off, that's not a problem. So if you want to take your membrane off, go ahead. Now, we just need to go ahead and get some seasoning on here. Today I'm going to be going very simple, salt, pepper, and garlic. That's because I'm going to add a barbecue sauce later, so that's where most of my flavor is going to come from. I'm going to start with the bone side and go ahead and just put some salt on here. Should you get all the edges? Now I'm going on with the pepper, the garlic powder. Now we'll flip them over. We'll get this top side. So we got our salt, pepper, and garlic powder. I'm going pretty simple with these because I said I'm putting that sauce on, but more importantly, I want these to pick up a real nice smoke flavor. I don't want too much seasoning on there to block that smoke from getting into these ribs. All right, so there we go. Now we're hanging these, so we need our hook. So I always like to hook from the meatier end. You just go a couple ribs down, right between the second and third rib on these. I'm gonna go out to the pit barrel, get these on, but before that, I'm gonna check and make sure this hook is high enough and that this won't be sitting in the hot coals. So let's get out there and give it a check. All right, guys, so before you go ahead and throw these in the pit barrel, just do a quick check, make sure they'll fit. Just go ahead and put it on the rod over here and then see how much room you have at the bottom. So these look pretty good. Our basket's about here, so we have plenty of room. You might think the bottom of these might cook faster or even burn because of how close they are to the charcoal pit. That's actually not the case, and I find the top sometimes actually cooks faster. And I didn't know why this was till I actually figured it out. What happens is the juice from the top drips down to the bottom, makes the bottom stay nice and cool, creates nice even cooking that way. Enough messing around, let's get these things on. All right, so the pit barrel's up to temperature. Put some hickory wood chunks in there. Got a nice smoke now. Let's get these ribs on. Right down and hook them on the rod. Get the lid on, let these cook. Pit barrel cooker is a great way to cook ribs. It's really a set it and forget it cook when you're hanging ribs, and I won't even be checking them for about an hour. So while we wait for the ribs to cook, let's make this sauce. So we start off with some apple cider vinegar. I'd say about a quarter cup. To that, I'm gonna add ketchup, mustard, some balsamic vinegar glaze. Then I got some of this hot pepper jelly. Do a spoonful of that. Here I have some apricot fruit spread. I'm really just winging this. I'm sure it'll be good. Looking for a nice sweet sauce. I just want to go in with a little more ketchup, I think. I want some black pepper, some garlic powder, some onion powder, then some paprika, and a dash of salt. So there's our crazy concoction. Let's mix it up and see how it came out. Well, it looks like barbecue sauce. Definitely going to be nice and sweet. I think we got ourselves a winner here, but we won't know until we taste it on the ribs. Now, if you want, you can heat this sauce up for a little bit, let everything meld together. That's a great idea. So that looks pretty good. Nice. Check it out. A nice little barbecue sauce we got there. This should be good. All right, so for just winging a barbecue sauce, I think this came out pretty good. It's got a bunch of good flavors in there. I'm pretty happy with how this came out. But I want to give it a smell. Yep. Smells like a barbecue sauce. Get a little bit of that sweetness. That balsamic glaze adds a nice little flavor there. This is going to be good on these ribs. Speaking of the ribs, they've been on for about an hour. Let's go take a look at them. Nice. Coming along good. All right, starting to build up a nice crust here. Looking pretty good. Still got a ways to go. So let's get these back on, let them cook. All right, so I'll let these go for another hour and then we'll come back out and check them again. All right, we just hit the 2-hour mark on these ribs. Let's see how they look. Oh yeah, they're looking really good. Get a nice bark on there. Pull them out. All right, so we got some nice pullback here. Looking pretty good. Get a nice color. Check it with the thermometer. Just want to see how tender these are. All right, not too bad. Definitely need some more time though, for sure. So if you're curious about temp, we're looking at about 157. Not too bad. Thinking another hour or two. Let's get these things right back on so they can keep cooking. All right, hour number 3 on these ribs. These are coming along great. So these are looking pretty good so far. Nice little bark. See the bottom? Not that burnt at all. Let's come up to the top. Like I said, you can see it's getting a little hotter up here at the top actually. So let me just probe this. It's getting tender. Needs a little more time though for sure. Not going in as easy as I'd like. I'm gonna let these go for about another hour. But what I want to do first is just spritz it with some apple cider vinegar and water, especially at this top side. Go ahead, get these back on. All right, hour number 4 on the ribs. Let's check them out. Looking good. It's the color we're looking for on these. Let me probe it, see how these things feel. Yep, that's what I want. Super tender. We still got to put the sauce on, let these go for another half an hour, so I'm ready. Temperature-wise, 178. And again, I'm gonna sauce these and they're gonna cook a little longer. I'm gonna sauce the backside first. Oh yeah, this is going to be fantastic. Flip them over and get this top side. All right, there we go. I'm gonna try and put this in the cooler spot. All right, just let it hang there. So these aren't gonna take long. The ribs have been on for 4.5 hours. Just put the sauce on them a half an hour ago. They are ready to pull off. I'm gonna wrap them and let them sit. Let me get this tin foil laid down. I'll get the ribs and we'll wrap them up. All right, here's our ribs. They smell amazing. They look great. Check these things out. Oh yeah. They have a beautiful sauce on there. That glaze thickened up really nice. Let's get them wrapped up. I'm just gonna lay these down, bring this foil up. All right, there we go. Let them sit for half an hour, and then I'll see you when they're ready to cut up. They are ready, so let's get them unwrapped, slice into them. I'll give them a try. Oh yeah, these look so good. Check these out. They are gorgeous ribs. Sauce on here smells fantastic. Slice them up, give them a try. Here we go. Let's cut into these. So what I want to do, flip these over. Be careful for the sauce. Now I can see the bones. I can get some nice slices out of here. All right, so good. All right, these ribs look amazing. Just check it out. Got great color on there. Got a nice smoke ring. Got some real nice juicy ribs here. Look at the sauce on there. I can't wait. I need to try this now. So good. Nice and sweet. Awesome flavor. Man, this is delicious rib. Pit barrel cooker just kills these ribs. So easy. Set it and forget it, basically. Throw these ribs in there. You won't even need to look at them for 2 or 3 hours and you'll be totally fine. This is such a delicious rib. That sauce on there, nice and sweet. It's not too sweet. Perfect amount. Got a little bit of spice, probably from that red pepper jelly. I will be making these again for sure. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you liked the video. If you did, give it the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But most importantly, get out there and smoke something good.